Color 10's Forecast First, sponsored by Three Stone Homes. More home, less money. And now, Forecast First on Color 10 News.
Well, it was a very nice almost end of May feeling day out there with the sunshine, warmer temperatures. The clouds have now really taken over everyone in the Ozarks, and we're watching as this big stripe of showers and thunderstorms is beginning to approach from the west, and it'll eventually get here mainly north of I-44 overnight tonight. I think we'll stay dry here in Springfield. Not much for a low either. 59 degrees for that low thanks to cloudy skies and a bit of a southeast wind blowing to 5 to 10 miles per hour. The wind picks up and moves out of the southwest tomorrow, and we're expecting temperatures pretty similar today, if not maybe a little bit warmer. Highs up near 80, isolated storms possible. However, there's a lot more rain on the way in the forecast, and that's in a few minutes. Color 10 News at 10 starts now.
You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Transportation network services like Uber and Lyft could soon be operating seamlessly across Missouri. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennifer Kielman. David has tonight off. A signature from the governor is the final step to make it a law. Color 10's Jennifer Abreu tells us how this would benefit area drivers and riders. Jennifer.
Yes, it was only about 4 months ago when ride-sharing companies were allowed here in Springfield, and it took many council meetings and amendments to get it passed. And now, if this bill is signed by Governor Greitens, other cities in Missouri won't have to go through the same ordeal.
People from all around the area signed up for a job when Uber and Lyft came to Springfield.
I have to drive like an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and a half to get here.
If the new legislation is signed, Bill Roten could work closer to home.
There's some smaller cities a lot closer for me that I'd only have to drive 20 minutes to get to.
The legislation would allow ride-sharing services across the entire state.
No longer will they be caught in the local ordinance trap, sort of being able to deliver someone from Springfield out to Republic, but not able to pick someone up in Republic and bring him into Springfield.
This legislation would allow you to get picked up in Nixa, Ozark, or Republic, and even become a driver yourself.
These Joplin residents say they would have more options besides a cab.
Right now, taxis takes like 3 hours to get anywhere because they're so backed up.
Or the bus.
It's like $1 each stop because if you have to get off and get back on.
They say it's not just about convenience, but safety.
People who like to go out and have a good time, if they don't have a designated driver, would be a better option.
This bill took about 4 years to get to Governor Eric Greitens' desk.
There was objections by taxi cab companies.
Insurance regulations were another challenge.
First, we had to make sure that the public is safe, and that we had to have provisions that the insurance companies could adequately insure
These drivers.
Would definitely make it a lot better.
And riders hope the governor will give it the green light.
My daughter is 15, so she can take Uber to the mall and stuff, and I don't have to be chauffeuring around everywhere to her friend's house and stuff.
If the governor signs this bill, it would go into effect on August 28th.
All right, Jennifer, tonight, thank you. 2 men in Stone County were hurt this morning, one critically while working at a construction site. This is a photo sent to us by the Southern Stone County Fire Protection District. Spokesperson tells us the accident happened around 9 at a new condo complex called Millwater Cove. The 2 men were working in a boom lift when the ground gave way underneath. Everything shifted and one man was thrown from the bucket, landing 30 feet away. He was taken to a local hospital. The second man remained in the lift and his injuries are not believed to be serious. Well, Springfield business is burdened by a dangerous intersection or speaking in favor of a possible city project tonight. Our Colin Lingo heard from those business owners and the city. He's here now in our studio to tell us about this coming change. Colin.
Jennifer, according to the Springfield City Council's upcoming agenda, the city is considering some changes to a 3-way intersection that's been plaguing locals for years.
They go pretty quick over those tracks.
Katrina McNutt works for Salad Master, one of the many businesses that sits right at the corner of Enterprise and Bennett in Northeast Springfield.
Lots of traffic.
Chris Coyner is the owner of Aquasani, the business just across the street. Both have worked in the area for years, but they say it didn't take long to notice a problem.
I love the location, except for this intersection right here.
Kind of cross your fingers and hope that nobody comes flying over the railroad tracks and hit you.
They call the neighboring railroad intersection trouble.
Very, very, very dangerous. Seen a lot of fender benders.
When there isn't a train train passing through, clogging up traffic. There are empty tracks elevated just above eye level, blocking the view of oncoming traffic from all three angles.
That's what causes accidents.
The good news for people like Coiner and McNutt is the city is working on it.
These improvement at the rail crossing will be very beneficial for safety.
Kirk Juranis with Springfield Public Works says the project is a collaboration between the city and BNSF Railroad.
This project, the railroad's going to lower their track 12 to 18 inches, and then we're going to raise the east side of Bennett 12 inches.
Even though the city's portion of the project is expected to cost $100,000, and even though that money is expected to be raised through a 1/8 cent sales tax, those near the intersection are elated.
Just thank God. That's a huge miracle. Actually, that'd be great.
That is, if construction doesn't make things worse.
I just hope it's safer for everybody, I guess. But I just hope it doesn't take a very long time.
Now, Jennifer, right now, the planned change is set to go before City Council on the 18th. According to the agenda, the item is eligible for public comment and could be voted on that night.
All right, Colin, thank you. Around the region now, all eyes are on Arkansas as the state approaches 7 executions in just 10 days. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson says overall Arkansans support the death penalty, and it's time to provide closure for the victims' families after decades of legal work. Governor Hutchinson feels the personnel involved is well prepared, experienced, and trained. He says he's confident everything will be handled professionally and seriously, and he doesn't believe it's a good idea to spread out the executions because it will be harder on staff and on families.
Whenever you look at an expiration date, even though the experts say that the potency of the drug lasts far beyond that, I knew that that would lead to another challenge by the defense lawyers if we went beyond the expiration date.
The governor also said he's confident there will not be any issues with the controversial sedative used in the executions called midazolam. He did say the fact that the drug is expiring soon did play a factor in the execution's timetable. And today marks 1 month since a 15-year-old Tennessee girl and her former teacher went missing. Tad Cummins had supposedly kidnapped Elizabeth Thomas. Authorities say the 50-year-old may be running out of medicine. Their last known sighting was March 15th, 2 days after they disappeared. The two were seen on surveillance video entering a Walmart in Oklahoma City. Cummins may be in need of a refill on blood pressure meds. Witnesses say Cummins was suspended after he and Thomas were caught kissing in the classroom earlier this year. Prosecutors say Cummins left his wife a note the day he disappeared. A roller coaster was stuck in the air with dozens of riders on board at Six Flags America in Maryland. According to a spokesperson, the Joker's Jinx stalled with 20 people on board. Emergency crews are responding to the scene, and they worked to rescue those riders off the coaster. They say the riders were upright. They didn't appear to be in distress. The same ride with the same amount of people became stalled in August of 2014. CBS News reports this is at least the 4th time since 2014 the Joker's Jinx has broken down with people on board. In tonight's Consumer Watch, you may want to double check what the Easter Bunny leaves behind this Sunday. Target is recalling more than 560,000 water-absorbing Easter egg and dinosaur toys. The recalled products include Hatch and Grow Easter eggs, Easter Grow toys, and Hatch Your Own Dyna egg products. Officials say if swallowed, the toy can expand inside a child's body and can cause some intestinal obstruction. Surgery is required to remove the toy. Now, luckily, no injuries or incidents have been reported at this time. People can return the products to any Target store for a full refund. Tonight was the Springfield Cardinals home opener, and our Dan Malloy is at the ballpark.
The Springfield Cardinals return to Hammons Field for tonight's home opener. I'm Dan Malloy, and I'll have a full recap of the opening night festivities and the ball game when I join Dan Lucy later in sports.
But first, let's head over to Wes in the Weather Lab, where he was at Hammons Field earlier, and the weekend is looking about as beautiful as today was.
Yeah, it was a very nice evening at Hammons Field. Unfortunately, the game isn't really turning out quite as nice, but the weekend, at least the first half of it, is going to be very nice and almost summer-like. However, Sunday is a different story. I'll let you know what the forecast for Easter is looking like after this break.
You're watching Color 10 News with David Oliver, Jennifer Kilman, weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, and sports with Dan Lucy. This is Color 10 News at 10. Closed captioning on Color 10 News is sponsored by the law offices of Dr. Brad Bradshaw.
Sutherland's, your home improvement store for the next century.
Coming up tomorrow on Daybreak, Julie Horton from the Humane Society joins us with another rescued animal up for adoption.
Plus, turkey season is right around the corner. We went out with a professional. We're going to give you some hunting tips, plus some gun safety. That's all tomorrow on Daybreak.
Join the network. Get involved.
Hi, Roger here from Race Brothers. We're a big store with a lot of stuff, so check out our full line of steel products. Steel can help you add the finishing touches to a freshly cut lawn. Choose Steel today for power, service, and value that can help you cut big jobs down to size. Also, don't forget about our great parts and service department. We can service all your needs at Race Brothers in Springfield, Carthage, and Monette. You'll like the way we do business. Tell a friend.
Race Brothers Farm and Home Supply.
And Western Wear.
The only local lifestyle show in the area. Color 10's Ozarks Live. Weekdays at 3. And now, Color 10 News meteorologist and weather expert, Wes Peary.
Yeah, it's an awesome, very, very warm day outside. It was not a whole lot of sunshine, but there was enough sunshine to warm us up to some almost end of May-like temperatures. The clouds are really ruling the evening right now as these showers are finally beginning to approach Joplin. Within the next hour or so, I think showers will begin in Joplin, but the cloud cover did not stop us from reaching the lower 80s. Mountain Home, we got to 82, 81s for a lot of us. Lake of the Ozarks, Clinton, all the way down to Branson and to Harrison. I think these numbers you see right here, what we had today, are going to at least repeat themselves tomorrow, if not a couple degrees warmer tomorrow than what we experienced today. It's still 70 here in Springfield. Everybody has cooled off into the upper 60s to the lower 70s, where it's still 72 on Table Rock Lake right now and 68 across northern Arkansas into Harrison. So what you're seeing right here is just a piece of upper level energy, really an upper level low that has stayed pretty organized over Texas, Oklahoma, and now into Kansas. This is going to track north of I-44 tonight. If you're living along 44, I think you're good. North of I-44, we'll see those showers, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll see some isolated storms pop up, mainly along to the east of 65, and then as the cold front begins to approach on Saturday, we're going to see some very breezy southwest winds just ahead of this front, and when we get southwest winds in the Ozarks, we get very warm temperatures. It's going to be sunny to help out with those breezy southwest winds. So I think Saturday we're going to be seeing high temperatures in the lower to middle, scratching the surface of some upper 80s across extreme southwestern Missouri. However, after Saturday, into Saturday night, into Sunday, temperatures will cool off, and we'll see a decent amount of rainfall really begin to pick up in the 7-day forecast Sunday and onward into next weekend. But let's worry about this weekend first. So the hour-to-hour forecast, 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe a few showers left. This is going to be mainly for everybody well north of I-44. Again, if you're along I-44, I think you're good for the rain tomorrow morning. However, once we get into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see more storms start to pop up during the peak heating hours of the day, and maybe for places like Highway 54 could see some storms as well, but mostly along and to the east of 65. And where this rain falls, it'll kind of cut off your high temperature. So if you see a rain shower in Fort Leonard Wood about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll rain, and then that'll kind of be just as warm as you get. So the high temperatures tomorrow are going to be very dependent on where the rain does fall. If it doesn't rain where you live, you'll probably be in the lower 80s for highs. If it does rain where you live, you'll probably be stuck into the upper 70s for high temperatures. Saturday, I think we'll all be rain-free, starting off the 60s on Saturday morning, and then mostly sunny skies throughout the entire day, with highs on Saturday into the lower 80s, maybe even again the upper 80s on Saturday afternoon. And we'll watch for Sunday morning, maybe kind of a soggy start to your Easter Sunday. So for tonight, north of I-44, maybe a few scattered showers. Will dry here in Springfield, about 59 for that low, and then at least 80 for a high here in Springfield. I'm kind of putting it in the middle, where if we see a shower, we'll be close to 80. If we don't see a shower, we'll be in the lower 80s. So that's kind of the deal. East of 65, isolated showers are going to be around into the afternoon. Lower 80s on Saturday, lower 70s, so about a 10-degree cool off from Saturday and into Sunday, and then kind of a soggy forecast from there on out with chances of showers every single day, except for just one day. Wednesday looks dry highs in the upper 70s.
So you have 2 good days to mow that lawn before
Yes.
it keeps growing like weeds.
Yeah. And then after
before
that,
your weeds keep growing.
Yeah, and then it's going to be like 3 times as long if you don't mow it this weekend, next weekend, but after all that rain.
I know. All right, in the Viewers Club.
Well, we had a winner. Congratulations to Dewana Harper.
Nice.
Won $800 for the jackpot. So the jackpot's back down to 100. That number is 140541.
All right, Wes, thanks. Up next, the United States drops the mother of all bombs in the Middle East. Plus,
right now we're not getting along with Russia at all.
President discusses America's newfound relationship woes with Russia. We'll be right back.
The 4-state franchise returns to Buffalo Run Casino Friday, April 21st. Don't miss newest member, 2016 U.S. Olympian Charles Conwell in his professional debut. Don't miss Kenzie Morrison, Jared Rouse, and in a special feature, Australia's Bill Eldin versus Dale Evans. Get your tickets at the Buffalo Run Casino box office or BuffaloRun.com. Don't miss the 4-state franchise. Buffalo Run Casino, Friday, April 21st, from the town known as the new boxing mecca, Miami, Oklahoma.
There are a lot of serious things happening in the world today, but here at the Bob and Tom Show, we don't give it.
Be a grown-up later. Start your day laughing with the Bob and Tom Show.
The Bob and Tom Show, mornings on Springfield's Classic Rock, US 97.
Sofa City has the largest selection of sofas in stock and ready to take home. If you're looking for huge savings on quality brand name furniture, then you've got to come shop these deals while they last. At Sofa City, where you'll find quality home furnishings for less.
Don't miss the Lucas Oil 4th Annual MLRA Spring Nationals. Get your tickets today.
Here are your current Ozarks lake levels. Sponsored by the Morrissey Law Firm. MorrisseyInjuryLaw.com.
Hi, folks. Jerry O'Neill, Continental Siding Supply. Our warehouse liquidation sales have been great, but they left us with some odd lot pieces of siding that are too long to throw away and too short to be used seamless. If you would allow us to use these short pieces on the back of your home, I promise the front and the 2 sides of your home totally seamless. The savings would be like getting the back of your home done free. Call now.
This spring, pick your power. Steel fuel-powered equipment is the #1 selling brand in America. And the new Steel Lightning battery system delivers the power to do more on a single charge. Right now, you can pick fuel or battery at a great price. Choose between the fuel-powered FS38 trimmer or the battery-powered FSA 45 trimmer. Both starting at just $129.99. Pick your power, then pick up a Steel. Visit SteelDealers.com.
The Viewers Club Jackpot. Win big money weeknights watching Color 10 News.
When you've worked in trauma surgery like I have, you know why someone injured in a car wreck needs a good lawyer. I'm Dr. Brad Bradshaw, a physician, surgeon, and lawyer. If you've been injured in a car wreck, give me a call.
The U.S. brought in a big weapon to help in its fight against terrorism. The Air Force dropped an 11-ton bomb on ISIS targets in Afghanistan. Craig Boswell has more details from the White House.
The Trump administration is confirming it has dropped the so-called mother of all bombs for the first time in combat.
The GBU-43 is a large, powerful, and accurately delivered weapon.
The 11-ton bomb was dropped on ISIS forces in Nangarhar province in the eastern region of Afghanistan near the Pakistani border.
We targeted a system of tunnels and caves that ISIS fighters used to move around freely, making it easier for them to target U.S. military advisors and Afghan forces in the area.
Pentagon sources tell CBS News the bombing mission has been in the works for months, and General John Nicholson, the commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan, had to get permission to use the weapon.
The United States took all precautions necessary to prevent civilian casualties and collateral damage as a result of the operation.
This test video from 2003 shows the massive bomb being pushed out of the back of a cargo plane over Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. The bomb created a massive crater upon impact. The GBU-43 is officially called the Massive Ordnance Air Blast Bomb, but because of the MOAB abbreviation and its massive size, it picked up the nickname Mother of All Bombs. It is now the largest non-nuclear weapon ever used in combat. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
The military is currently assessing the damage in Afghanistan. Well, President Trump sent a message of reassurance about the U.S.'s rocky relationship with Russia. This morning, he tweeted, quote, "Things will work out fine between the USA and Russia. At the right time, everyone will come to their senses and there will be a lasting peace." But that stands in stark contrast to the message he delivered from the East Room of the White House Wednesday. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson had a private 2-hour meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Tillerson didn't sound very optimistic afterward. He also told President Putin peace cannot happen in Syria while Assad is still in power.
Right now, we're not getting along with Russia at all. We may be at an all-time low in terms of relationship with Russia.
A Kremlin spokesman said the meeting between President Putin and Secretary Tillerson had been fairly constructive and that the two agreed to keep open lines of communication between Washington and Moscow. Today, President Trump gave states the individual permission to defund health care providers that offer abortions. President Trump met with anti-abortion rights activists in the Oval Office after signing a measure that allows states to defund organizations that provide abortions like Planned Parenthood. The resolution does not impact Planned Parenthood funding on the federal level, but it overturns an Obama-era rule that prohibited states from withholding money to healthcare providers for political or religious reasons. Marjorie Dannon-Felser is the president of a nonprofit group working to make abortions legal.
We spoke about how important this was. We talked about how, again, how this is a promise that is kept, that it's really important for people to see that, to see him sign the bill.
And however, Planned Parenthood said in a statement, quote, "Women marched in historic numbers the day after the inauguration because they feared the worst. Well, their worst fears are now coming true. We are facing the worst political attack on women's health in a generation."
Alvarez is another tools-up player. He's got 5 tools, but he's raw.
Springfield Cardinals loaded with young talent. Dan Lucy is coming up in sports with the story of one of those and home opener highlights after the break.
Cox Health is a proud sponsor of Color 10 News.
Enjoy unlimited attractions and experiences, go-kart rides, Springtown, Lost in Space, laser tag, and more. Did you know unlimited means all the attractions all the time? What do you want to do next? Only $19.99 plus a regular price buffet purchase. This Easter weekend only, starting Thursday after 4 p.m., all day Friday, Saturday, and Monday. For more details, visit IncrediblePizza.com.
Catch the talk weekdays at 1, only on Color 10.
Here's a look at stock quotes of local interest. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Right now at Hy-Vee, get a free turkey breast when you buy a ham. Buy a Hormel Cure 81 spiral ham for just $2.99 a pound and get a free turkey breast too. Serve it with traditional sides. Hy-Vee canned vegetables, just 29 cents each. And don't forget a delicious dessert from the Cheesecake Factory Bakery, now available at Hy-Vee. So hurry into Hy-Vee and get a free turkey breast when you buy a ham for just $2.99 a pound. Only at Hy-Vee.
Dish was founded on innovation to cover the millions of Americans the cable companies wouldn't. Why? Because when we've gotten it right, it was when we were listening. Not to ourselves, but to our customers. And I'm here to spread the word. But I'm not a spokesman. Instead, I'm a spokes-listener. And I'm here to listen in an industry that doesn't. Why? Because at Dish, we're tuned in to you.
Here's to craftsmanship. When you take your sweet time and do it by hand, it always leads to the good stuff. The pit masters at Rib Crib practice their craft every single day. Slow smoking with hickory around the clock to bring you righteous ribs, sit your butt down brisket, and all the good stuff you love. Rib Crib, smoking the good stuff.
Your Color 10 weather experts forecast from the Downstream Casino Resort Weather Lab.
And now, Color 10 Sports with Dan Lucy.
The Springfield Cardinals opened up the 2017 home schedule for the Texas League baseball season tonight, taking on Frisco. Cardinals lost tonight 7-1. We'll have highlights of that from Dan Malloy live from the stadium in just a second. But first of all, we're going to take a look at some of the players on the Springfield Cardinals. There are some veterans on this Cardinals team, guys like Alex Mejia, Blake Drake, and Jacob Wilson. They played here at Hammons last summer. But this team also has some youngsters. Eliezer Alvarez is one of those baby birds. Eliezer Alvarez has always been a Cardinal, or at least it seems that way. St. Louis signed the Dominican Republic native at the tender age of 16.
Alvarez is another tools-up player. He's got 5 tools, but he's raw. So it's another guy we have to take baby steps, little by little, be patient, hit him down in the order, let him get the feel of Double-A. Don't be fooled by the skipper's cautious approach to the second baseman. He's paid his dues. Alvarez is in his 6th season of professional baseball and comes to Springfield straight from low-A Peoria, skipping Palm Beach.
Yo me siento bien. Yo voy a tratar de...
He's going to adjust. He's going to try his best to be himself, no matter what they're trying to do to him.
Alvarez is on the fast track because of his bat. The kid who grew up idolizing Robinson Cano hit .353 in the Gulf Coast League and belted .323 in a full season at Peoria. He'll be tested regularly at Double-A, where the pitchers throw nastier stuff.
Different world. This is a different. The guys know what their weaknesses are. They're more experienced. They know how to find your holes, so it's a little different. Alvarez is learning the game and the English language with the help of his skipper, Johnny Rodriguez.
Ni nervioso ni nada. Me siento súper bien.
Says he doesn't feel nervous now. He just feels fine. He feels fine. That's what he's saying. Springfield's new manager will develop his defensive skills at second and let his bat do what it does best. For his age, he's 22, but mentally he's younger. So I would say it's a good thing for him. That way he's only worried about one spot, and then he can get his hitting. Because usually when they don't hit, it's gonna. So I'd rather have it. Okay, if you're struggling, I'll play second base, and I'll give him his days off against a tough lefty. I'm not just gonna throw him out to the wolf.
Ahora mismo la defensa.
Right now, defensively is what he's more worried about. He wants to make the routine play, so he needs to adjust to make sure he can slow down the game then. For a player who's on the fast track, slowing down in Springfield will be a joy for both the player and the fans. All right, now let's go out to Dan Malloy, who's standing by live at Hammons Field. And Dan, it was not a good night for the Springfield Cardinals.
Dan, it was not the best of opening nights. The ballpark feels a little bit more alive on opening day, but the bats just weren't tonight. A 7-1 defeat at the hands of the Frisco Rough Riders. Sandy Alcantara shut down Frisco in his debut last Friday. Rough Riders were all over his 100-mile-an-hour heat tonight. He didn't even make it out of the 4th inning, serving up 7 runs before he escaped the 4th. Adolis Garcia provided the only run of the ballgame, a missile into the left center field seats in the bottom of the 3rd. But that was about it. A 7-1 loss to Frisco tonight. They're going to get back at this tomorrow night at 7:10. That'll be Austin Gomber on the hill. He'll try to lower his 54.0 ERA. He was roughed up in his debut last week as well. We'll be back out here tomorrow night, Dan. Reporting live at Hammons Field, Dan Malloy, Color 10 Sports, Ozarks first.
Thanks, Dan. In the bigs last night, St. Louis had the night off. They're going to be playing at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night. Kansas City snapped a 3-game losing streak by beating Oakland 3-1. And Missouri State trails New Mexico 11-7 in the 6th inning. Blake Graham hit a home run for the Bears in that one. So Missouri State is on the road at New Mexico while the Springfield Cardinals are opening their homestand here and opening the season tonight.
What a great night, though, for baseball.
It was
beautiful.
Warm. It was a warm, beautiful night.
Did you get a hot dog?
Sure.
Did you get some nachos?
No nachos.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. All right, Dan, thank you. A country music star is giving a young fan a very special gift. We're going to tell you about that after the break, but first, here's a little look at what you'll see tomorrow morning after daybreak.
I'm Charlie Rose. Tomorrow, the new expedition's getting ready to see the Titanic
why the wreck may be intact for only 2 more decades. That's tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
To err is human. To anticipate is the Lexus RX. With pedestrian detection, auto braking, and lane departure alert, standard. Experience another step closer to a safer world.
Lease the 2017 RX 350 for $429 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
We went to turn in, we were going to complete stop, and all of a sudden we just got hit really hard. I was just looking around, I had no idea what happened. I got out of the car and there was like nothing left of it in the back. We just knew that the medical bills were going to be way out of control. Aaron Sachs did everything. Medical bills, insurance company, you know, they try to push you around, and they really had our backs with that.
If you've been hurt, call Aaron Sachs and Associates. It won't cost you anything to see if we can help.
They were a blessing to us.
Honey, I had such a wonderful time today.
I love coming to Downstream. It always makes us feel young again.
With over 2,000 slots, live table games, 6 restaurants, and 374 luxurious rooms, you'll love every moment at Downstream Casino Resort.
If someone hit you and you ended up here, we can help.
The Law Office of Dr. Brad Bradshaw.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
If family night is slipping out of your hands, it's time to take control and unplug. And get your family back to nature with a new or used RV from Great Escapes RV Center. Watch your family reconnect when you have new adventures and micro vacations in your home on wheels. At Great Escapes RV Center, you'll find the largest selection of the best brands and the lowest prices around. Great memories start at Great Escapes RV Center.
You know what the most important tool is that I bring to the job site? It's not this backhoe. It's my phone. And before any job begins, I use it to notify Missouri One Call and have the underground utilities marked before that bucket ever hits the ground. Knowing where the lines, pipes, and cables are buried not only keeps me safe, but also saves me time and money. Before you dig, no matter how small the job, be safe and notify Missouri One Call. The utilities will come out and mark your site for free. It's the law.
Reed's Plumbing and Excavating.
Here it is. A teenager fell asleep at the wheel in Tennessee, nearly died. He was on his way to pick up his girlfriend to go to a Garth Brooks concert for the very first time. Now, because he didn't make it to the concert, his friend started an online campaign called #GarthGoSeeJake. Tens of thousands of people spread the message all over the country on Twitter and Facebook. They wanted Garth Brooks to do something nice for Jake. Well, Garth Brooks ended up somehow getting that message. He and Trisha Yearwood, his wife, sent him a big old box of signed memorabilia. Garth Brooks is set to play 7 shows in Kansas City next month. His website says more than 115,000 tickets have been sold for the shows. It's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to see Garth Brooks. He's a good guy.
I saw that that G, I think that's like one of his older albums, so he must just give him shirts from the past 10, 15 years.
That's like
all the stuff left in the closet.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But you know what? It made his world right there. So
that's awesome.
You want to do a quick forecast for us
we
for
can
Easter
do it.
Sunday?
It's going to be a nice afternoon. We may run into a few isolated storms, mainly with everybody along and east of 65. Saturday looks nice and dry and warm. Lower 80s, kind of a soggy Easter Sunday. So do one of those Easter hunting Saturday afternoon.
All right, you heard him. Hunt for eggs on Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Don't miss a new MacGyver. CBS Friday, 8/7 Central.
Sessions